Hello, welcome back to Open, everyone. It's that time of the year again when talented young musicians come together for the Johnny Pacheco Latin Music and Jazz Festival at Lehman College. And the event consists of performances and allows learning opportunities for musicians who are studying music in New York City schools. And this year's proceeds will be distributed to provide disaster relief for the people of Puerto Rico. And joining us to tell us more, we welcome the director of the Johnny Pacheco Latin Music and Jazz Festival, Allan Molnar.
Hi, Rhina.
Hello and welcome back, Allan.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
I cannot believe a year has already gone by.
It goes by just like that, doesn't it?
It's unbelievable. I mean, we love having you here. And from the time that you close out the festival, do you go immediately into planning the next year?
Well, I go home and I usually fall dead asleep for several hours.
I thought you were gonna say for several days.
Well, thinking, okay, this is so much hard work. It's going to be the last time I do it. Then by about 24 hours later, I'm thinking, well, okay, who are we going to get next year? And every year I tell you, this is the best festival that we've had so far. And guess what? This is going to be the best festival so far. It's really exciting.
That's lovely, though. That's lovely to have that outlook on it, right? Especially because I understand. I know what it is to put all this energy into mounting an event, and I also know what that feels like to say, you know what, I'm going to pass this over to someone else, and I'm going to delegate it to someone else, and I'm just going to let it go, and then you're so inspired by it because it's your passion, it's your life, it's your world, it's your language.
Well, we have such an incredible team that puts this all together, including all our friends here at Bronxnet and the Multimedia Center, and within our music department, people who are involved at various levels of making this all work, and not to mention all the directors that work really hard developing their ensembles, and they're the stars of the show. They come in and perform and play some great music, so it's really a community event.
It is, and I know you're very passionate about it. So thank you for sharing the real deal over there. Well, how many ensembles can we expect this year?
Student ensembles during the day, I think it's at 14 or 15. And then we have ensembles coming in from as far away as Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas, and for one of the evening performances. Now, Thursday evening, we're featuring the Fat Afro Latin Jazz Cats. That's the organization that is run by Dr. Arturo O'Farrell, and his son Zach O'Farrell is an outstanding educator and leads that ensemble. They're going to be performing that night as a featured performance, and we have the Kansas State University Latin Jazz Ensemble from, as I mentioned, Manhattan, Kansas, performing as well that evening.
So how many schools are involved, and how do you decide, how do you bring, and how do they even come in? Like I also know that you have a virtual style of like Skyping. Is that concert related, or is that just through your conferencing?
Well, actually, interestingly enough, this year with the KSU ensemble coming in, they have performed with me in Hong Kong, and I think we did one in Australia when I was there, a couple things up in Canada, in Norway, in Sweden, and certainly here at the Pacheco Festival in the Bronx. And so this will be the second time, actually, that we've actually performed together with everyone in the same room in the same city at the same time. So I'll be sitting in on one piece with them on Thursday night. But that Dr. Kirk Gardner has been a real good collaborator over the last about 14 years or so with these virtual projects, and his ensembles have always been really eager to participate in these rather unusual types of performing situations. But this time it's old school, everyone in the same room playing together.
Everybody's going to be present, physically present. No, but
Yes.
it's lovely to have that option. It's really, and not only that, that's kind of like the world we live in. It's kind of like another dynamic and another layer added to the actual rhythm of the entire presentation.
Well, it does, and actually the performance part of it is great fun, but really what it does is it points to the great potential for video conferencing in Latin music and jazz education, and for schools to share with each other and bring in guest artists from places like New York and places far away where sometimes it's cost prohibitive to do a 1 hour performance or a workshop in a school. But with video conferencing, that breaks down the barriers. So my my colleagues at KSU and certainly the students there have been great collaborators in bringing this to a front and center view in our profession.
I love when I can hear how technology is being used for that. You know, it kind of makes sense, right? Because sometimes I go back and forth about just the distraction that it brings into our world. However, let's share with everyone what to expect because I know Bronxnet's going to be capturing it again, and we do live taping, and basically it's accessible to everyone throughout the day, right? So let's talk about the festival itself.
Okay, well, the festival, during the daytime, there will be a number of bands. There are middle school bands coming to perform, high school bands as well, and they're playing a mixture of Latin music and jazz for the most part, mostly traditional jazz big band types of formats. And Dr. Gartner also is our clinician for all of the bands. So after they perform for about 35 minutes plus or minus, and these are the sessions during the day from Wednesday through Friday, Kurt will be giving a short critique of each of the ensembles just to, give them some tips and ideas in terms of how they can make their music sound even better. And at this time of the year, it's a great time for that because they're getting ready for all the concerts coming up, later in the semester and then through the following semester. So we at the Pacheco Festival like to give them kind of a head start on things.
It's lovely. It's lovely. And I got to say, I enjoyed listening in last year because it's just kind of like this unique treat that you have access to online that you could just listen to, and it's live.
Yeah. And it was a treat to have you as a host for the Friday night performance too last year.
That was my pleasure, my absolute pleasure. And thank you again, Allan Molnar, for just giving of yourself to the next generation as you do.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You guys, once again, the Johnny Pacheco Latin Music and Jazz Festival is taking place November 14th through the 16th in the Studio Theater at Lehman College, which is located at 250 Bedford Park Boulevard West in the Bronx. And for more information, you can visit lehman.edu/jazzfest. And don't forget, please log on to bronxnet.org for the actual jazz festival in live, right? Because we're capturing it live, and it's really a treat. I highly recommend it. All right, you guys, we had to take a quick break, but when we return, we will sit with transformed artist Shakimono, who went from homelessness to an oceanfront view. You don't want to miss that.